fan because I called his coming out fight against Bradis Prescott.
He's special.
And then various other stepping stones throughout his career.
I also think he's one of those guys that if you tell him he can't do something, he wants to show you and shock the world.
1,000%. Absolutely right.
I also think Canelo is slowing down.
I didn't give Canelo more than like 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Maybe 4 if I'm just being generous.
You know, becoming the first undisputed world champion in the 4-belt era in 3 different weight classes. Really. And the way he did it and, the class that he showed.
Joe Rogan reacted to Terence Crawford's victory over Canelo Alvarez by highlighting how Crawford thrives under pressure and doubt. Rogan explained that whenever people claim Crawford can't rise to a challenge, it only fuels his determination to prove them wrong. He praised Crawford's slick style, precise striking, and ability to showcase real power on the biggest stage, calling this win the cementing moment of his status as one of boxing's most skilled fighters today. Meanwhile, Bonghill tweeted, "I'm now convinced Crawford would beat any version of Floyd Mayweather." That bold statement reflects just how highly Crawford's latest performance is being regarded. Defeating Canelo Alvarez has elevated his legacy to an entirely new level, with many now believing he could surpass even the undefeated Mayweather. With dominance across multiple weight classes and unmatched adaptability in the ring, Crawford is making claims like this harder and harder to dismiss.
Get ready to subscribe totally to that because, again, you're talking about somebody who is stubborn. And
for sure.
Who wants to prove everything he can prove.
100%. I agree with that too. But I think in boxing and certainly in MMA, there's a certain amount of years where a fighter can keep the RPMs up. And, when they're in the red line, and there's some people subscribe to the idea of 9 years. There's 9 years is the most that a elite fighter in MMA has performed at their prime. I think that's a bullshit number because I think it's entirely dependent upon lifestyle, nutrition, discipline, physical attributes. There's a lot of factors.
George Foreman won the heavyweight championship of the world in boxing at age 45.
True, but he took 10 years off.
Yeah.
Gareth, speaking as a commentator, described Crawford's performance as one of the most remarkable displays in boxing history. He highlighted the uphill battle Crawford faced, moving up 3 weight classes, entering the ring older than Canelo, and returning after more than a year away. Yet, despite every challenge, Crawford delivered pure mastery, composure, and skill at a level rarely seen in the sport. Gareth urged fans to recognize this as a once-in-a-lifetime showcase of greatness, proving Crawford's ability to defy the odds and surpass all expectations. Meanwhile, Shakur Stevenson showed his respect on X, praising Canelo's willingness to face the toughest challenges. "Respect to Canelo," he wrote. "There are a lot of soft fighters in the sport who are scared to face greatness. But salute to you, champ, for putting it on the line against everybody. You're a legend." Stevenson's words reminded fans that true greatness isn't only about winning, it's about daring to take risks against the very best.
The week. We said that this is a game of IQ. There's going to be movement within the fight. You're going to have to answer different types of questions and bring different types of game plan. Crawford did that. He was able to do it backwards. He was able to do it forwards. He could trade in the pocket, catch the stuff, and then counter. He was absolutely magnificent. Listen, I know this is raw and we've only just walked out the stadium, right?
10 minutes ago.
And when the dust settles on this, we'll probably have better answers and better thought processes. And I'm sure people watching this will get stuck into the comments and maybe say what I'm about to say is quite outlandish. That might be the single best performance that I have ever witnessed live. It was absolutely tremendous. You've got to take into consideration the weight jump. This is a man that was champion at 135, 140, 147 and obviously recently at 154, but let's be honest, he even jumped up to 154 pounds for that. To go then up to 168 and take on the former pound for pound #1 king on a Mexican holiday weekend in Las Vegas and managed to beat him on the cards when the judges tried to do him, mate, it is out of this world what Terence Crawford just did. And he needs all the flowers in the world. He needs all the praise in the world. And I don't think you're wrong, mate, by saying he's the pound for pound #1. It's an ever-moving list. That performance alone deserves to put him right at the top of the
Yeah, he's become... There's an argument that he becomes an all-time great with that performance, like you say, because the majesty, the poise, the presence all week, the pinpoint accuracy of everything he did in there, to the fact that in the end, Canelo was frustrated and knew he couldn't do anything to Crawford, and he started
visibly frustrated, wasn't it?
No, visibly frustrated that he started to do a weird kind of showboating because he didn't have any answers for what was happening and unfolding in front of him. I think Terence Crawford has rubber-stamped himself as an all-time great tonight, and I want to revise a view on him. I wondered whether he would have been capable of beating Floyd Mayweather at welterweight.
Oh, you're going for it now, aren't you?
And I think, yeah, we got to. I think he may well have.
Pauli Malignaggi stressed the historic weight of Crawford's achievement. Becoming undisputed across 4 divisions is almost unheard of, and the fact that he did it by dismantling Canelo makes it even more remarkable. Malignaggi drew comparisons to Floyd Mayweather's dominance in his own era, declaring this as the dawn of Crawford's era. His perspective made it clear, this wasn't just another victory. It was a seismic shift in boxing's balance of power, cementing Crawford as the defining figure of his generation.
Flawless. I mean, Terence Crawford has had an amazing career against a lot of very good fighters and world-class fighters, and honestly has barely lost a round. When you look back at Bud Crawford's career, there is something really special. It's one of those things now, because now I've now seen back-to-back generations of Floyd Mayweather and Bud Crawford, and man, you know, it's one of those things where now I understand why the people that lived in the Ray Leonard era say, you know, oh, wish we could see Ray Leonard against Mayweather, and how that would be, because it just leaves such an empty feeling when you have such special fighters that were in different generations, and you saw both of them. You know, I saw the entirety of the Mayweather generation, I saw the entirety of the Bud Crawford generation. Just incredible, really, really incredible. And I know Mayweather gets a lot of hate, but for me, he's a tremendous, tremendous fighter. And Terence Bud Crawford is in that realm as well. And it's a fight we'll never get to see. So what are we gonna do? You know, it'll be up to the fantasy fights, you know. But let's get into it, man. I want to get into the undercard as well and some of my thoughts on the Netflix show. But let's get into the main event first. Crawford really boxed very, very well, very, very intelligently. The question mark was what happens when Crawford gets hit cleanly. I'm not sure he got hit cleanly the whole fight. You know, he got hit with some partial shots. Some shots landed cleanly, but by the time Canelo started landing anything cleanly, I think he was hesitant because he was getting countered so much that he was taking some of the steam off the shots in order to hope to be more accurate. Because even late in the fight, there were a couple of shots that Canelo landed, but they barely moved.
Devin Haney's reaction cut straight to the point. He dismissed the idea that Canelo ever had a foothold in the fight, saying he couldn't give him more than 3 or 4 rounds at best. Haney's remark wasn't just an assessment, it was a challenge. It underlined just how decisive Crawford's victory was and hinted that even one of boxing's brightest young champions now sees Canelo as no longer the untouchable force he once appeared to be.
You scored, Devin. I wasn't scoring. I didn't give Canelo more than like 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Maybe 4 if I'm just being generous.
I can't get away from this
Maybe
fucking
4.
crowd.
Are you shocked or not?
Hey, right here to my left.
Are you shocked or not?
No, I'm not shocked. I knew that.
Asterisk, one fan tweeted, "True competitors are all champions. There is no loss in the pursuit of sincere glory. Thank you and congratulations to Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. The warrior spirit won tonight." That message summed up the respect shared for both fighters, reminding us that true greatness is measured not just in victory, but in courage and dedication. Meanwhile, Bill Haney didn't hold back. He argued that Crawford's dismantling of Canelo was even easier than his destruction of Errol Spence. Haney said he had predicted this outcome, pointing to Crawford's unmatched brilliance. His comparison drove home the point, but is not just beating elite opponents, he's making them look ordinary. Each step up, each challenge, has only made him look sharper, calmer, and more dominant. Against Canelo, it wasn't just victory. It was another level of mastery. Asterisk.
Exactly. And you guys knew what was going to happen. You were in denial. That shit looked easier than Earl Spence.
Easy money, man.
Did look, huh?
It's a brilliant performance. Brilliant performance.
Man. Shout out to Team Crawford, Bo Mack, and that whole team, man. You know what I mean?
Where'd you rank him all-time list after that?
I mean, put his face on Mount Rushmore. You get what I'm saying? He deserves his place, for sure.
Did you score it, Bill?
Yeah, I scored it a lot for Crawford and a very little for Canelo, if any. I don't know.
116, 112.
I don't know. I mean, I could pick. I could pick one or two. I could pick one or two in there or something like that.
I know it's straight after the fight. But do you want to see Crawford go out on that, or do you think there'll be a rematch?
No, I don't hear a bunch of partying going on. Listen, it sounds like a funeral home in Allegiant Stadium. Did Crawford win? It sounds like it's a funeral home. Look, you see over there. You see it's quiet. It's quiet as shit. Yeah. Is it a holiday or what? Oh my God! Oh my God! Listen, that's a Crawford fan. He's Mexican. Now, listen. Hey, y'all know what's up. Crawford done did it, and only person that's talking is me. November 22nd. If you don't want to hear nothing else, Crawford is great. November 22nd.
One fan tweeted, "Crawford is out of his prime and older than Canelo, but beat him fair and square. No catchweight or nothing. I mean, he lost to a fighter who came up 3 weight classes. No excuses." That reaction captures the true weight of Crawford's win. Despite being older and moving up multiple divisions, he still proved superior. No excuses, no asterisks, just greatness. Analysts echoed the same sentiment. This fight was never just about belts. It was about legacy. The winner would leave recognized as the greatest of this era, and with Crawford's victory, he claimed that crown. They highlighted how perfectly he executed the game plan, neutralizing Canelo's strengths while showing every tool in his arsenal. The conversation shifted. No longer about if Crawford belongs among the greats, but about where he ranks in all-time history.
You need rehydrate, you need this. No, you don't. If you're actually a man who is willing to, challenge himself and not a little boy who's afraid, then yeah, you can do it. You can absolutely do it. And Terence Crawford did it, and he did it damn well. Credit to Terence Crawford. Absolutely. Honestly, I'm still... Because for me, although I was picking Canelo Alvarez to win this fight, and although I've been a fan of Canelo Alvarez for many, many years, he was one of the main guys who got me into boxing. I have loved Terence Crawford, loved watching him fight for years and years and years. I remember staying up at the time, and I actually made sure to get the HBO feed to get his fight with Victor Postal. And I remember, it wasn't one of his more entertaining fights, but I remember just being just in awe of the skill and ability of Terence Crawford at the time. I remember Bob Arum, they're both run by Top Rank, when people were saying, oh, could Loma fight Terence Crawford? And Bob Arum said that would be suicide. It would have been suicide. Could you imagine? Good Lord. I can't put into words how happy I am to be proven wrong, because I love watching Terence Crawford. I think he is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And it's really fitting, right? I love Canelo Alvarez, right? But it's really fitting that at the top of boxing, we have 2 of the most honest champions, honest men you could ever see, you could ever imagine. And that being Alexander Usyk and Terence Crawford, 2 friends. And I think they really sum up this era of boxing. If we are coming to the end of it as a whole, I think they really sum it up that if you're dedicated to your profession and you're willing to stay disciplined and you're willing to...
Joe Rogan reacted with passion, declaring that Crawford has proven himself the superior boxer to Canelo. He praised not only Crawford's striking, but also the mentality and adaptability he carries from a wrestler's mindset, traits that make him even more dangerous. Rogan emphasized the magnitude of Crawford moving up in weight and dominating such a tough challenge, comparing it to some of boxing's most historic moments. In his view, Crawford achieved something even greater than Hagler ever did, cementing his place among the sport's elite with flawless execution.
That is, Majumov really good.
Yeah, he's really fucking good.
But I just think Crawford is, it's weird to say against Canelo, but I think he's the better boxer, and I think he's the guy who can make the better in-fight adjustments if Canelo doesn't kill him.
It's going to be interesting, I'll tell you that.
What do you think?
I don't know. It's a big jump to go from 54, which was a step up from 47. Right? So it goes to 54, and now he's going to 68. That's so much weight.
A lot of weight.
But Terence is, I think he's the best switch hitter since Hagler.
They claim Hagler was my...
Roy Jones Jr., one of the greatest fighters in history, declared that Crawford had entered an entirely new level of greatness. He called him special, emphasizing that nobody in this era can match him after such a performance. And when praise comes from Roy, it carries real weight. His words made it clear this wasn't just another win for Crawford. It was a defining moment that permanently elevated his status among the sport's legends.
Sorry. I felt kind of like they had it. It was a very close fight coming down to the last 2 rounds, but Bud put him out. And he fought very smart. He let Canelo wear himself down early, and then he started fighting late, which was very smart.
Not many people gave Bud a chance, but he dominated in there tonight. Do you see anyone from this era beating Terence Crawford?
No, nobody's gonna beat him. Nobody gonna beat him.
What makes him so special?
The fact that he's fought on both sides, and he's a winner at heart. His heart is everything.
With the scorecards right, 2 judges gave it to him by 1 round.
Yeah, it was close to a fight. It all depends on what you like. Well, if you like Canelo's aggression, he gave the Bud by like 1 or 2 rounds. But if you like boxing, Bud won by a few more rounds.
What should both guys do next? What should both guys do next?
I mean, Canelo probably got to go back and decide what he wants to do. Bud, if I were Bud, I would just be tired. Who gonna top what he did?
Jay Opetaia admitted he wasn't surprised by Crawford's victory. He explained that he already knew the determination and potential Bud carried into the fight. For Opetaia, Crawford's willpower combined with skill made the outcome feel inevitable. His comments highlight how fellow fighters recognize the depth of Crawford's drive, showing that his mental toughness was every bit as important as his physical tools.
On points, bro, crazy.
How did you have it?
I had him up, bro, convincingly.
Is he awesome number 1 draw?
Hey, science of the sport. This guy adapts. I knew it.
How did you know he was going to win? Why?
He's got too much ammunition. You know, southpaw, orthodox, on the back foot. That's what changes good from great, is knowing how to adapt. You know, back foot, front foot, that's the difference.
Devin Haney said he wants him to retire after that. Do you agree with that?
Devin Haney is Devin Haney. You know, where is he? You know, what's he doing? So,
what do you think of it? Do you want Crawford to retire or you want him to continue?
You guys push that back a little bit.
Hey, he's doing well. So it's been good. Hey, what a performance.
Johnny Fisher's reaction echoed the feelings of many fans. Why rush to retire a fighter after such brilliance? He called the clash a generational great fight and insisted Crawford still has more to offer. His words struck a chord with those who felt they were witnessing history in real time and didn't want it to end prematurely. Instead of debating retirement, Fisher reframed the conversation, shifting the focus to just how much more Crawford could still achieve.
Great, etched himself in boxing history right now, and to go up to them 2 weight divisions, unbelievable to do it. Someone like Canelo, I've never seen Canelo have that body language at the end of a fight where he's shaking his head. So credit to both men.
Would you like to see Canelo retire now?
Yeah, of course. I think Abdul Shiraz is knocking on the door to fight Canelo.
You don't think he should retire now, Canelo?
No. He's up to him. That's his own personal discretion. He's making millions and millions of dollars, and he will continue to make millions of dollars. He's not been destroyed. He's not concussed. He's just Big John shouting out some of the sense. Yeah, it's all about himself. That man.
Devin Haney said he wants to see Terence Crawford retire now. Do you agree?
All the people are saying retire. Why are we trying to retire these great fighters before their time? They're enjoying it and they're fit to do it. Let them continue. Why are we trying to get rid of them? We need them.
A fan tweeted that Canelo remains one of the sport's best, despite losses to Mayweather and Crawford, a reminder of his legacy and greatness, even with high-profile defeats. On the other side, Crawford's rise through the weight classes stands as one of modern boxing's most remarkable journeys. From 135 to 140, 147, and now 168, he's conquered every step. Few fighters in history have climbed divisions while maintaining speed, precision, and power the way Crawford has. That versatility alone cements his place in boxing history, proof he's not just dominant in one division, but across the spectrum.
Terence Crawford beats Canelo Alvarez by unanimous decision. Terence Crawford does the impossible by becoming the first boxer in history to be undisputed in 3 different weight classes, 140, 147, and 168 pounds. He started out as a 135-pound champion and made it all the way up to 168 pounds, beating the undisputed champion Canelo Alvarez, who's one of the greatest fighters of our generation. Tonight, Terence Crawford looked stronger, looked faster, he looked like he had higher IQ. He was just dominant the whole fight. His natural counterpunching instincts and just fight awareness, fight IQ, he did everything perfect. Like I predicted, Terence Crawford was going to give him problems and Canelo was going to get frustrated, but I didn't think it was going to be that dominant. Every time Canelo threw one punch, Terence Crawford hit him with 3, 4, 5 blistering hard shots. Terence Crawford will go down as one of the top 5 pound-for-pound best fighters in the history of boxing.
Crawford's performance against Canelo will go down as a true masterclass. He dismantled a fighter celebrated for his strength, timing, and durability, and made it look effortless. Round after round, Crawford showcased superior tactics, razor-sharp adjustments, and pinpoint precision. In the end, it wasn't about power, it was about skill. And Crawford proved he was operating on an entirely different level. This fight wasn't just a win, it was the ultimate statement of his greatness.
So breaking news, 2 huge fights have been finalized for late 2025, and Errol Spence versus Jermell Charlo in negotiations for early 2026. So the first fight announced is Lamont Roach versus Isaac Pitbull Cruz in December 2025. Roach, he obviously deserved the Tank rematch, but Tank instead he's taking the Jake Paul fight. So Roach, he's going to stay active and take on Cruz. And who knows, the winner of this fight, they probably should get Tank next. Next fight, Errol Spence versus Jermell Charlo is being negotiated for early 2026. All the details are still being finalized, but both guys making their return after 2.5 years. Charlo since losing to Canelo, Spence since losing to Crawford, and this is a great rebound test for both guys. Next fight, Naoya Inoue versus Alan Picasso for December 27th in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Inoue making his Saudi debut, and that'll be his 4th undisputed fight this year. Obviously, he's got to get past Muradjan Akhmadaliev this Sunday, but if he can get past Akhmadaliev, it sets up the Picasso fight in December. Also on the co-main event of the Naoya Inoue card in December will be Junto Nakatani. He'll be making his 122-pound debut against a top contender. And the plan is if both guys win their fights in December, they'll fight next May in Japan for undisputed.
7 and now 168, he's conquered every step. Few fighters in history have climbed divisions while maintaining speed, precision, and power the way Crawford has. That versatility alone cements his place in boxing.